Hi there, Jean Greer here at Stylish Fireplaces. Today I want to talk to you about the best electric fireplaces for a cold Canadian winter. There's no question that Canada has some of the coldest winters on the planet. So it's no wonder that when winter comes, we spend a little more time indoors, and we really love our fireplaces. So which are the best electric fireplaces for a cold Canadian winter? Well, first of all, let's remind ourselves that for most of us, our fireplace is no longer the primary source of heat. We want a fireplace for ambiance more than anything in a lot of our homes. Anything that is built in the last couple of decades is a well-built home, well-insulated, and they're just getting more and more energy efficient and tightly built so that our rooms really aren't cold, but we still love a fireplace. We're still gravitating to a fireplace in the winter. So when we think of electric fireplaces, number one is they do have heaters in them. So if you thought electrics did not have heaters, the first thing to understand is that they do have heaters. The biggest difference is that an electric fireplace heater is separate from the flame. So all of these fires behind me are on, they look wonderful, they look warm, but the heaters aren't necessarily turned on when those flames are on. That gives me total control over the amount of heat that I can have in my room. So if I happen to have a home that has some cold spots, I can have my electric fireplace heater on. I am looking for a fireplace in that case that has temperature control. So you want a fireplace, an electric fireplace that has a thermostat built in either to the remote or to the fireplace itself, so that you can sit in that colder spot in your home and you can say, I want this room at 70 degrees and I'm going to set the thermostat to 70, and the fireplace is going to work with the heater and the blower to keep the room at that 70 degrees. It's not going to overheat the space, and it's not going to change the thermostat on your furnace and have that turning off so that the other rooms in your house are cold. So the number one thing I'm going to look for on an electric fireplace in a cold Canadian winter is something with temperature control. The other thing is, if I have an extremely cold spot in my house, I could look for a dual voltage electric fireplace. So what that means is all electric fireplaces can connect to 120 volts. That's your normal household outlets, the normal current running through all of the rooms in your home. So every electric can connect to 120 volts. And at 120 volts, we can get 5,000 BTUs of heat output from an electric fireplace. That will heat up about a 400 square foot area. If you can connect to 240 volts, you've got more power for the heater, and you can almost double the output that you're going to get, and therefore double the amount of space that that heater can warm up. So if you're in the middle of a cold Canadian winter and you do have cold spots in your home for whatever reason, whether it's the basement or a room that sits over the garage, you might opt for an electric fireplace that's dual voltage and can connect to 240 volts. To give more power to the heater. That is an exception rather than a rule at this point. Most electrics do not connect to 240 volts, so you're looking for those that can. So we're looking for heat control. We're looking for possibly a dual voltage electric fireplace. The other thing to keep in mind that makes an electric fireplace great for a cold Canadian winter, we've all moved indoors with the cold weather, and that means the whole family is gathering around maybe for a binge watch on Netflix or Disney Channel, and we've got kiddos running around and maybe they're touching the glass on the fireplace. With an electric fireplace, it's completely safe. This glass, whether the heater is on or not, this glass is not getting warm. So it's perfectly safe for the little ones who are excited about watching a movie or just having some friends over, and maybe they're not thinking about whether that glass is hot or not. And of course, there is no combustion in an electric fireplace. So electric fireplaces do not have any risk of carbon monoxide leakage into your home when the fires are on. So that's just a brief overview of things to look for in an electric fireplace during a cold Canadian winter when we all move inside. Look for something with temperature control, which could include sort of high-low, but more and more would include an actual thermostat, so I can set my preferred temperature in the space where I need the fire. And look for possibly dual voltage if it's got a really cold spot. And keep in mind that these are super safe for the family when everybody comes indoors and starts spending a little more time there during those cold Canadian winters. You can read more about this on our stylish blog at stylishfireplaces.ca, and we've actually given you some specific models and brands to fit each of these categories.